Yes, people, we are here. We're live. Sorry to keep you waiting, man. Um, yeah, man. We are here with my brand new channel, Unleash Sports. I appreciate everyone locked in. People that have seen me on Man Them Talk. So yeah, man, it's been a long time coming. I've watched before we get into it, obviously we're going to talk about will Jim Radcliffe bring success and realistic season expectations for Man United. But yeah, I've been watching Saeed and the guys for a while. Flawless Rants, Flex KG, and it's been a long time coming, man. Like I've got big United fan, love the club. Don't love what we're doing with the club right now. So yeah, we're going to be doing this show is called Real Talk United with me and AG. We're going to do it once or twice a week. And then we've got some other shows for you guys as well. This is going to be a channel about boxing, MMA, and football. Man United, my team. So yeah, I'm just waiting for Neji to come in, and we'll get into it while when he gets here, in it. But I'll do a little background for you guys. But yeah, so the schedule is going to run on a Sunday. We're going to do me and Neji 8 o'clock. Real Talk United. We're going to be going a bit more in depth with the things that we talk about with the club. So we're going to go a little bit below the surface with this one. Um, on Mondays, we're going to be doing an MMA show. On Tuesdays, on Thursdays, we're going to be doing a boxing thing, and I'll be live for all boxing anyway. So, for any of you boxing fans, tomorrow I will be live talking about the press conference in Riyadh today. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and the big card out there. But yeah, more importantly, let's get into the United thing. So today the announcement is obviously Jim Radcliffe's getting close to getting his 25% over the line. Um, and also, people, smash a like on the video and subscribe, man. Help me out, man. We're gonna build this up. I will be doing a bit of a giveaway at 1K subs as well. So I'll be giving back to you guys. I've got some cool stuff, some brands I work with. Um, but yeah, back onto the topic. Obviously, Jim Radcliffe's got his 25% stake going through at Man United. Um, I don't know how to feel about it really. I feel like I'm excited that there's gonna be a different football structure, but I don't know what that looks like. Maybe you guys can give me suggestions of what you think as well, but I'm not sure really. I feel like Jim's a very mysterious character. I don't know what, when you don't know what someone's true intentions are. You don't know whether they're going to come in, you don't know whether they're going to actually do something good with the club, or whether they're going to be a bit of a PR guy. Um, and whether they're going to deliver on all the things that they say. So that's kind of where I'm at. I know a lot of fans are excited about Paul Mitchell and Blanc coming in as well. But I don't know what that looks like. I think one of the guys said it on Mandem chat the other day. 2 secs. Stay hydrated. Um, One of the guys said it on Mandem chat the other day, and they said that with the resources that we've got, spending between what 200 and around 200 million a season. Is that about right? 2 million, 250. Um, they're thinking with those resources, could these guys do better? I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, but I would take a Tadibo in January. I would take Paul Mitchell. I would take a better structure, 100%, because at the end of the day, the bar's pretty low right now, like really low. So I don't know, like maybe we can get some sort of not sustain, but some sort of success. To me, if I had to break down what the success would be under a Jim Radcliffe, it would be top four finishes every year. It would be a better football on the pitch. I think everybody likes that. Everybody can advocate for that. And for me, it would be more goals. I always stress on the front line this season. They've been really poor. So I want to see him either, I don't know how I feel about this manager, him either get a new manager in or take the pressure off this manager and this manager perform. But with what the manager's done this season, could we see him? Could we see him do any different? Could we see him getting more results? Could we see him scoring more goals? I'm not sure, man. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a United team where we've got -5 goal difference at this point. Like, I don't know, man. Big up Tyrone as well, man. Appreciate you locking in. But I don't know, man. I don't know whether I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether this forward line can produce. Like, I really, really don't know. I feel like they're lacking in confidence, but they're lacking in ability as well, and they're lacking in mentality. So who knows? Who knows, people? Let's just see where this guy's at. Let's have a look here. Just tell him started. Lock in. Cool. It'll be a Nigerian. It'll be shortly. Mr. Perspective. But yeah, no. Will Jim Radcliffe bring success? I think to start off with, I think Traps made a good point today when we was on Saeed's channel, and he said that we need to clear out of all the mandem at the club. I agree with that. I feel like we need to. Oh, here he is. We need to. Log on. What's good? I'm just saying. I'm just breaking down the success.
Wait there.
You can't hear me, can you?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Hear me now.
Hear me now. Yeah. No, I was just saying. I've just done a little intro and just letting the guys know, obviously, like what I think that success is under Jim Radcliffe. Which, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure. But bro, how are you? Obviously, you was PTing and that. You stood in the same building. If man were watching Mandem chat earlier, I think he's moving in that building, isn't it?
Come on, man. Got a gym downstairs, upstairs, putting in the graft and the paperwork and all that stuff, man. So, all good, man. How was gym for you before we get into it, man?
Literally, it was mad. Like, literally, I left the Mandem stream. I've gone, boom, straight down the A52, which, sorry, for the people that are not in the Midlands, it's one road that separates Nottingham and Derby. I've gone straight to the boxing gym. Check that, man, because they're going Manchester tomorrow for this fight. Little time with the amateurs, little filming, cutting people up on the way back. But we made it 2 minutes late. So, yeah, we made it. But, yeah, man.
Love that, broski. Yeah, man. It's all good mind as well, man. Just the PT two clients, man. But obviously, we're not here to talk about PT and everything else. We're here to talk about, obviously, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, man. And, bro, if you can turn it around, like I said in the Mandem talk, bro, I do genuinely believe 3 years minimum. Shout out to the boy Saeed TV, man. Do you know what I mean? The main man, the general. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to my man. Likes to be on his knees and that. Shout out to Saeed.
Allow it.
My guy.
We're not going back there. We're not going back there. Yo, crazy. This guy, you know. But yeah,
man. I just think 2-3 seasons minimum, and that is based off the best possible outcome of consistency from the board and how quick they are to do business, whether that's scouting, whether that's getting rid of a manager, highlighting a new manager, all of that. I think 3 seasons should be the point where we go, okay, so what are we building in the last 3 seasons? And I think it's going to have ups and downs during a transitional phase for me. So I'm excited. In one hand,
wait. Let me just clarify that, because obviously this is the beauty of it. I was obviously just introducing to the audience and big up everyone locked in that this is Real Talk United. So me and you're going to go a little bit more below the surface of things, isn't it? So when you said the 3 years earlier, I'm going to kind of give you what my perspective on what you said was,
go on.
And then you can obviously clarify that. So you're saying from this point now, the slate's clean, because for you, structure is very, very important. I think it's very important for the club to succeed on any level. 100%.
Yeah, 100, man.
So you're saying from now, you know, it's not going to be an overnight thing. You can give it like 3 years to implement that structure, and then you can really give your thing on that when the machine's well oiled, basically.
Yeah, man. That's when I can start being more critical, because I think if you haven't got key components, I can't overly criticize. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Traps as well coming through. Do you know what I mean? Round 2 and that. Yeah, man. I can't. What are you eating, bro?
Where am I?
No, what are you eating?
Chewing gum.
Oh, my mum pulled it out, you know.
This guy's tricky. Yo, no worry, no clash.
It's all good. Nah, it's all good, man. Now we're just talking, chaps, about how we realistically see Sir Jim's kind of progress happening and what kind of space and time can we get a turnaround. And I'm just sitting here saying that for me personally, I'm looking at the 3 seasons just for the simple fact that I do believe it's going to take that amount of time to be cutthroat with certain people, whether that's manager, players, board members, etc., to get rid of them, and then finding the replacements and then working off that. So yeah, I don't know what you think, bro, but I'm still in the same boat as 3 seasons minimum.
Just before Trap speaks, I actually started before Neji come in, and I was talking about how I agree with what you said earlier to do with, I think the first step is the clear out. I think that's so important because we all know that one bad apple can rot the rest in it. So I think what Traps made a really good point earlier and was on Mandem chat about it needs to be. And you know, when you first said it, I was thinking, really? But who's going to run everything? But then I'm like, these Muppets can't run anything anyway. So yeah, you go for it, bro.
No, you need to clear it out. This is what we've been moaning about for years. And obviously, and by the way, you already know I've just been called. You've heard my new name, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Yeah,
No.
I don't even know where. I don't even know where that came
One
from.
sec. Hang on a second. What just happened? So what? Just repeat that.
Someone messaged Ty. Big up Ty. Someone messaged Ty and said, "I never knew you had Sir Jim Ratcliffe on the show."
Different, man. That man's guy, you know, he's serious guy, man.
But obviously, look, like my point of view from things is, yeah. I mean, sometimes, obviously, like when it's the loads of us and there's things, it's kind of hard to get everyone's sort of aspect like fully,
yeah.
Right? But my thing for this is that like you got to face reality. Like our club is in the mud. Jim Ratcliffe has come on. He is right now, whether you like it or not. He's like the savior. He's the saving grace, whether you like it or not. Because if he comes in and he says, "Raw, I'm getting rid of this man. I'm getting rid of that man. I'm going to get the best to do this and the best to do that. I'm not the guy, but I've just paid the money. But I want this to happen." I said it. United fans can't really argue with that because we've been crying out for structure. Like, for instance, Nagy believes that the structure will support the manager, and it will. Yeah, it will. But at the end of the day, I just think, for me, the manager's done a bit too much for it to go back and be a steady ship. I think if you're going to wipe the slate clean, and like you said, if the infrastructure is good, the manager is slightly irrelevant in that sense. You know what I mean? Because they're going to want a manager that comes in and flourishes to the structure.
Can I just stop you on that point for a second? So in your mind, you mean that he's not been infected by the clubness, but he's kind of lost himself at this point, and it's worth him just kind of clearing, because you think he's going to get in the way sometimes and be a little bit stubborn and
no, because like you said,
progress with the structure.
Like you lot said, right, that he might have come in, he might have seen this. It's a lot worse than what he thought or whatever, and so he might be sort of disgruntled as a disgruntled employee already, and the fact that certain things haven't happened, certain things have happened a certain way. I've been left to do certain things my way. My way might not necessarily be the right way. I don't know, but at the end of the day, if a structure camp, like I said, I think they need to come in and they just need to say, look, everyone get out, because you know what I'm saying. What you don't want to happen is, like, for instance, they get rid of the manager, they get rid of 6 or 7 players, they get the players in. And they keep and they keep, I don't know, say they keep John Murtough. Anything that goes wrong, they're gonna blame John Murtough. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? So it's best to say, look, we've wiped the slate clean now for the fans, for the footballing structure. We've only got footballing men in here to do footballing stuff. Ten Hag was surplus to requirements because of X, Y, and Z. And at the end of the day, like, cool, whether we like it or not, he's still going to be judged on the money that he spent and the players that he's got, because he's still going to have to answer for that at some point. And at the end of the day, he's going to need more money now. You see what I mean? So they're going to be like, well, is this guy the right guy for the job? Because we've given him this money already. Not to say, and I'm not saying that, because he paid 80 million for Anthony. I'm not saying that. The point is they've given him, they've backed him with 400.
You're looking at the whole thing and saying what you've had of this piece.
Yeah.
What have you really got to show for it?
Exactly. We've backed you with 400 million. Are we going to go and get another 400 million to back you? Because based
on your track record of what you've done.
Yeah, because we've seen enough from this 400 million. Do you see what I mean? I don't think it's going to be like that. I think
so. Is that where you think the conflict comes, where they turn? Because obviously they will be more in charge of your structure before, where you said Ten Hag goes in the office, I want this guy, and they go, no, it's not going to run like that. But do you think that's where the thing where he goes, well, I'm throwing my dummies out the pram because you're not getting me what I want? Do you think that's where the friction's going to come?
What you have to remember, like even what Nagy said before, yeah, like Ajax is a very reputable club. It's got good infrastructure, whatnot, but Ten Hag's never been in a situation where he's had to go and pay 80 million for a player or 50, 60 million for a player. Has he? Because majority of these players
that is... Yeah, most of his players he's inherited and gone through systems.
Right.
What's the most?
We're not going to be that, because at the end of the day,
30 million or something. Is it like
Haller? I think Haller
he's ever spent. So
maybe even what's his face? The winger. Was it Tadic you bought? or it was
So really nowhere near that level. No, it's
yeah,
a
but no
contract.
no big profile. Put it that way.
That's
no
what
big,
I'm
big
saying.
profile.
And at the end of the day, look, we've seen what he does with big profile players. Doesn't really get along with them to a certain extent. There are a few in there, but obviously, I just think for myself that look, Man United going forward. What I mean, I don't know about you boys, right? But what I want to see Man United, like you said, Man United that you grew up on. So I want to see players coming through the ranks, yeah, good players, yeah, playing in the team week in week out, playing good football, and you want to see you do want to see raw like players like now, like for instance. Alfonso Davis not renewing. You want to hear Man United's name being brought into that conversation.
Yeah, you do.
Mbappe's and that. You want to hear Man United like, and not just a linked FC on Twitter. You want to be like there's you can look at a player like Mbappe or whoever and say there's a strong chance that he will join United. Whether it happens or not is two different things. But we're not at that stage no more. Like we're not at that stage to the point where it's even things like. I don't think there's many players, especially young players, based on what you've seen, what goes on, that will join Manchester United. Because we only got Højlund because he supports Man United. I think if Højlund supported a Barcelona or a Real Madrid or something, he wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the issues that I'd always raised on. I think I've said it with other managers. Like Man United's pull has been weak for quite a few years. It's got worse every time we've had a new manager because there's so much shit going on at the club. Like players talk, they all know Wagwan, and then you got managers coming out talking about the club as well. So most players now, it's not coming from Man United because we're not big Man United. It's coming because they either respect the manager because they've worked with the manager, or it's a case of I'm a Man United fan. I want to do my best to get them back. And then you look at people like Casemiro, Varane, yes, coming to the end of their prime years, but still got something to offer to a world-class level, maybe for a season or two. Yes, they get to rep Man United, but at the same time, they want to come in here and I believe have great intentions to bring the club back, but then they realise they can't do it alone. And over a period of time, it will start to shut itself down. And then they adopt the mentality. And then it's the case of, you know what, I've got my trophy, so F you, I'm on big wages. And the mentality at the club, this is why I always talk about it, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like they have these intentions and then you start to come into an environment where you're not necessarily feeling that level that you expected or that you were prepared to give, and then you then take that on. And I think it's no surprise as to why so many big name players and managers struggle at Man United, why so many players regress, why so many players move on bar injuries and they start performing really well. I think the environment that these players are in has to be looked at.
100%. I don't think this is an environment for players to flourish, and it's proven.
Traps.
It's proven.
Even Sancho.
Traps. I was just going to say that. I was going to say, if we're not attracting the big names, we have to be somewhere where it's like, I'm going to develop at this club. And the fact that Bellingham came, looked around, obviously we knew it wasn't going to come, but it's laughable what we're doing, isn't it? Because like, why would you come to United to try and develop your career?
You wouldn't. I mean, like you said, unless you've got a genuine love for Manchester United or you've got a genuine love for the manager, it's true. Like you're not going to come here for sporting reasons, and that's the reason why the sporting operations thing is. You have to understand that is.
Sorry to put in there, chaps. Just to add quickly as well, you've got to look at the finances as well. Like we're giving players bigger wages than most clubs just to say, yeah, cool. We're trying to force it that way as well. Do you know what I mean? Like wages they don't deserve, like 190s, 230s, all of that.
So on this point, I think they're all valid points. I think we need to go back to being a top 4 club that's young and hungry and develops players. I think that's what we need to be, the first stage of our development. Big up business time as well. He's put Varane needs to be sold. What do we think about some of the old guard? Do you think that we need to find a balance between, rather than shipping all the players out, and in that aspect there, we need to keep a couple of heads around, because some great teams do have like 1 or 2 older players, more experienced players? Or do you just feel like, what do you think of Varane to start off with this comment here?
I mean,
I think it's time.
You know me already, man. Varane, like everyone thinks I bash Varane like because Varane's shit, or I don't bash Varane because he's shit. At the end of the day, Varane's injury stuff, he's beaten by his injuries. We're beaten by his injuries. Do you know what I'm saying? So anytime he becomes injured, that's a wrap for us. That's a wrap for him. That's why I say he's useless, because not saying he's useless like he's useless on the pitch, but if you can't rely on a man, and I know injuries are part and parcel of the game, but if you're getting injured 5-6 times a season, bro, you can't do that here. Like, you can't do that at United, especially when we're trying to get trying to progress. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're progressing, and say for instance you've got Varane in the team for 10 games and everything's going well, and then Varane gets injured, and then you've got to bring in a Maguire or someone who's maybe, to say, not his level. How are you going to understand? And the thing, like you said, you're only going to be judged on the last few games. So people are not going to care what you've done 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. They're going to be thinking, "Right, we're slipping down the table now." And what? It's because Varane. So why didn't you go get a replacement? Do you understand? That's what people. That's what people will say.
I think, to be honest with you, that Todibo non-signing, even if it's not Todibo, that profile of signing somebody who's young, understudy, has really killed us this season. Because we all know, imagine right now we have Timber or we have Todibo. We're riding the hard times, but right now
it's a different story, man. That's the thing about having profiles and replacements,
Amen.
man. As much as I appreciate situations not being great right now, I think it's quite evident there are factors that you just cannot ignore. And if we want these standards, if, like Chaps is saying, want Man United to be winning again, same as I do, I'm sure you do as well, Leon, and most of Man United fans, then we have to be understanding of how we managed to do that in the first place. How did a club manage to go full flat on its arse and build itself back up 3-4 times in its history to go and be great, not just great, but dominant? And it starts with a genuine foundation and a structure, and it wasn't built overnight, but you have to have a process, and you've got to be willing to go through some absolute hardship when you don't have all the tools there. And having expectations, nothing wrong with having expectations, but are expectations realistic according to the situation that we're in at the moment? And this is why I said any manager that comes in is going to go through this bullshit, because it's happened for 10 years straight. It's going to have moments where it's down patch, and we, in my opinion, as I have a responsibility to support through that, if it's with the long-term goal of you're building something. Now, I said this about any manager. We have chats in the WhatsApp. I say this specifically to any manager, and the reason I said that is because we didn't have a structure. I know in order to have what we want, that our end goal, we need a footballing structure. You will not find a team out there that has been dominant and has been winning trophies to the standard that we want as United fans that does not have a structure. I've tried to find one, you won't find one. So it is imperative that you have a structure. Now, if you don't have a structure, what are the two ways in which you can realistically still try and achieve those type of goals? I still think it's unrealistic, but if you are one of them saying, I still want to win trophies, then like I said, you've got ultimately two options, Leon. It's a simple case of you let the manager build his structure, meaning that it's going to take him longer because the structure he's actually working under isn't feasible, which means it's going to be stop, start, chop, change, wrong mistakes, right signings, etc., etc. And it's going to take 4 or 5 seasons, and that's any manager. Or it's a case of you get the structure in, and then you wait 3 seasons minimum of consistency, and like Chaps is saying, be cutthroat and get rid of the certain man at the right time with the right adequate replacements. Only then can we start to have those expectations. Now, we've only just heard about this news in terms of us getting the structure in. So let's go back a couple of weeks. We never had that. So the situation we were looking at is you either have to ride or die with a manager, or you change your expectations to, because like I said, I can't find a club that's been dominant without a structure, a very good footballing structure that's been consistent. So if that's the reality, or the reality that I'm finding at the moment, unless there's other factors that I'm missing, if that is the reality, then we then need to change our expectations, because we then have to be looking at it like, well, we know Man United's expectations, but are we moving like big Man United? No, we're not. So where is the realism within expectations of our fan base right now? And are we, secondly, happy to accept that and go through the pain? And that's the sad reality, that we're not lowering standards. We're just getting on the standards that the club has set. Do you know what I mean? And those are new standards, and it's hard to accept those things for most of the fans. And I think that's why there's so much pressure on a manager, which sadly is unrealistic given the situation he's working under.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think there's patience with both elements, patience with the football instructor, with the manager in that case. One thing I'd push back on what you said, though, is about 4 or 5 seasons for a manager to build it. We might, based on your point of not seeing a football club that's successful with it. Sorry, Traps. I think Neji was just basically saying about, like, one point he made was like 4 or 5 seasons for a manager to do it. Can a manager do all of that? is the question of, are we wasting time waiting on a manager to build this football structure? Is it possible for the manager to do that?
I don't see
I
when you
don't
say
think the manager can do that.
you see when you say football structure and things like that. Yeah, I feel like
can a manager do it all?
I feel like the manager has to have certain things that he has his hallmark. Yeah, certain things has to be. But I feel like the board and the structure have to have a certain few things, and the two have to kind of marry up.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the people say, "Oh, build the structure," like, "Oh, we want to build it in the likeness of how he wants to play." That could be all well and good, but the board need to say, look, we want the infrastructure and what we want to see here. We want to see is top players being scouted all over the world. Yeah, so we need to fix the scouting network. We want to see our academy, the quality of our academy players become better. So obviously that's nothing to do with the manager. That's to do with scouting and getting the players in and just picking and choosing who's going to play and who's not. We want to see promotion of these players from the academy to the main team, and sustainable, not coming in like Tahith Chong playing 9 games and then fucking off to Luton.
And also, like traps as well. We want to see some money generated from the academy as well. For the
yes, we want to see players be. That's what I'm saying. You want the quality to go up, so players can play 20 games for United and get sold for 30 million, 35 million, 40 million, things like that. And we want, and the style of play, they can't be specific about it, but they know what we want to see. We want to see attacking, front foot style of play. You know what I mean? Whether you want to do possession based, counter attack, it needs to be a sustainable,
aggressive man,
aggressive Man United way of playing football. You know what I mean? Because we was never possession based,
more entertaining as well.
So we want to see exactly. So, but they're the things that the board have to stick to. We're not going to see. You don't want someone coming and stinking out 1-0, 7 at the back shit and trying to get themselves through a league. We're not going to accept that. So the board need to stick to that, and any manager that they employ needs to be able to bring a style with the players, and obviously he's gonna add his own players to it and make it his own. But that's the two just need to marry up at the end of the day, and that's what I think. And I think that there's no point you saying, "Oh, let's build it on the manager," because if the manager goes, like again, you get people like for instance, if Ten Hag goes right now, I feel like Anthony's career is finished at United, and not only that, he might not give. I know he doesn't give a lot, but you know what I'm saying. His attitude might change, and he might become a problem in the dressing room. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say. In terms of building it, you just need to be able to say, look, this is like you say. Forget names, big names, small names. We need profiles.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We need profiles. Yeah, we don't care about the name. We don't care about things. We need profiles. We need a proper wage structure. You're not going to come here because you can get 300 grand a week. And over there, you're getting 150. You're gonna you can't if you're not in. You know what I'm saying? If like for instance, you got a guy, great profile for the midfield. This is the kind of profile that you want. This is the attributes that you want. This guy fits it. Yeah. This guy here, he wants 300 grand a week. We don't do that here anymore. He's gone. So this is the next guy. This guy here, he's in a 5-year contract. They're going to want us to pay over the odds. We don't do that here. This guy, contract running out, he'll take 150 grand a week, and there's not really much difference between him and so. Let's go for him. Not thinking, this guy's a big name and he can sell 2 million shirts in 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Commercial team
as well. You know the other thing before you jump in, AJ.
Do thing, bro.
It's that it's doing your homework and it's having the right structure and the right thing in place, because it's like if that player comes and he goes, "Oh well, it's Man United, I want 250." We're like, "Bro, we've got 4 or 5 people on this sheet who are going to come and fill that role in it. We're just coming to you first, brother."
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's the key thing. Like when you look at any club and structure, like that's what I said, the manager's meant to get it wrong, but you're meant to have a backup plan. Like it's similar to your boys. Do you know what I mean? Like if you got boys that you genuinely want to see do well, but you know they're messing up on road, you're like, brethren, come on, sort yourself out. That's what you need. Do you know what I mean? You can still ride that. You can still ride the diet and still go, yeah, I'm with you on the journey. I'm watching you mess up and do your thing, but I'm saying, boy, you need to sort yourself out. Do you know what I mean? To get yourself a job, whatever. So I think that's the whole point of having a well-run club, is that you have contingency plans for when people mess up, Where your deficiencies are, they're made up. Fergie was not perfect. He was not a great coach. He was an incredible manager. But what he did was go and bring in coaches, and every 2-3 seasons would change his main coaches to adapt to what was going on. One of the most adaptive managers you're ever going to find, to the point where he could play 8 defenders, beat Arsenal 2-0. You know what I mean? He built that himself. If he did that in this day and age, it wouldn't happen. But there has to be method to the madness, and you have to have the structure and the people around you to be able to have the confidence to go and do that. And you can't. This is why I'm saying, no matter what manager comes in, we're going to be limited, and it's not going to come down to the style of football. It's not going to come down to a certain player. It's literally going to come down to structure 24/7. Why? Because when he gets it wrong, it should only be a minor thing. Right now, everything is major, and that's been the same for every single manager.
Another thing I think the board need to let people know, because you'll tell a lot about a player's character and a guy's character. If you just, when you come in, you don't do the whole friendship thing, like trying to friendly people over. At first, you make it seem like nobody's safe. Do you know what I mean? No one's safe. So you will see people's attitude, who really wants to be here, who wants to work hard. Do you know what I mean? Because when people say, when your job's not safe, or you feel like you're in danger, the reaction will tell you everything. Do you know what I mean? Some people do the fight or flight. Some people do the panic. Some people do the other way and go on the defense. And you're thinking, oh, fuck it, I'm probably going to lose my job anyway. Do you know what I mean? Then goodbye. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like this whole new structure with Jim Ratcliffe and his team need to play a lot of hardball with weeding out who's really, because don't you forget, like I said, for instance, all the leaks and things like that, that's got to stop. You know what I mean? Because, and another thing as well, the secrecy has to stop as well. Because if you look at even if you go back to Alex Ferguson days, there's clips of Alex Ferguson sitting with these lot. They're in a classroom or something, and he's telling them X, Y, and Z, giving them a talk and that. We don't get to see what goes on in that changing room. We never get to see it. You've seen Pep give talks. You've seen Arteta give talks. Don't get me wrong. Like, we are a different club to them. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we want to see what's going on. So at least we can feel like, you know what, these lot are actually trying to do something here. We need to be reassured as fans. You know what I mean? Like,
I think if you're winning, though, and again, I agree with you, but I think when you start winning, those things won't actually matter at the time, because you think we're winning, so it must be working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when shit hits the fan, that's, and like I said on the Mandem talk, when shit hits the fan, we all want to start finding solutions, and it's all because we've got the same mindset to bring the club back. Even though we're fans, our end goal is we just want to see things fixed, so we start to find solutions. So what you're talking about will be accurate to what we're going for now. Do you know what I mean? Because right now, it's not looking great. So you want more information. I'm fully with that. Do you know what I mean? But I think if you start winning, and I think I said it in the WhatsApp group chat, like to Musa, we shouldn't have to be having these discussions about direct. Think about it as fans, should we really be in a situation where we're talking about directors of football and style of footballs and how this should be happening, and then why Mitchell we shouldn't be having these. We're fans, bro. We should be
talking about little. We should be talking about our
favorite
player, who we're excited about signing, who's going to sign here. He's going under the season.
Shout out to the Queen, man. Shout out to the Queen Sunshine.
Shout out to the Queen, man. Appreciate it, man.
I mean, when Fergie was around, the conversation was things like Van Nistelrooy is better than Henry, like, you know what I mean? Things like that. That's the topic of conversation. You know what I mean? Now, but obviously football's changed a lot. But now, obviously we've had a lot of time where we have seen a lot of things. We've been exposed to a lot of things that we shouldn't have been exposed to as Man United fans. And it's things like we've seen owners come in and just take the piss. We've had no. In all the years of the decline, we've not had nothing from the owners. Not even a letter to say, we know we're in the mud, but we're working on it.
They didn't even turn up to Sir Bobby's flipping funeral, fam. That says it all.
But that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, like, you know who you're dealing with, and we've had to find it out the hard way, because even though there was around when Ferguson was doing his thing, he was in charge of everything. And this is what I was trying to show you lot as well about the whole Arnold doing his job, whatnot. The Ferguson thing, he had control of everything. You understand? Wages, scouts, he had control of everything.
You know,
But obviously-
Fergie's one of them guys that would know what's going on, even when you don't think you don't.
Exactly,
He knows
exactly. He had control of everything, right? And this is what I'm trying to say. Last season, we finished third. We won a cup. Arnold has thought to himself, "Oh, we're on to a winner here. I don't even need to do much. Yeah, he just tells me who he wants, and I just go get that, and then my job's easy. You know what I mean? I'm not even thinking about it because I'm not even a football man anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? And obviously, that was the style of what that don't work no more unless you've got a man. Yeah, like when I'm saying you've got a man like Ferguson, he cannot be replaced. Ferguson can't be replaced. So you have to put what Ferguson was doing. Ferguson was doing the job of like 5 man. So you need 5 man now. You know what I mean? You might even need 10. You know what I mean?
Well, Traps, did I not say this last Mandem talk about whether we realise it or not, our fan base were asking for another Fergie because really and truly that's what we need. And I did say that last one about no matter what manager comes in, we're ultimately, whether we know it or not, are asking for another Fergie because that's what we ultimately need. But the reality is we ain't going to get that.
Yeah.
Leon's reality is we ain't going to get that. So I plugged your name, bro. You know what I mean? Did bits. Just take 2 seconds.
He's still on it, G.
All right, carry on. Let's go.
Right, cool.
So obviously, do you know what I mean? We know we need something like that, but the reality is we ain't going to get that because we don't have. Again, no manager can come in here and start to go. You can't do a Ragnick basically. You know, Ragnick tried it. He was the best one to try it. Do you know what I mean? He went in like Batman and Robin. He was Robin. Thought he was Batman. Do you know what I mean? Got sent away. Adios. Do you know what I mean? And that's ultimately what we're struggling with. So now we've got these guys in. The potential for us to be able to actually do that now to a higher level, not fully through the club, of course, because they're going to have their agenda to make their money, but just to loosen the reins a little bit to go at least give us football people. I think any manager could thrive now, whether that was Van Gaal. Even if you brought Jose back in tomorrow with a new structure, I'll be honest, I think you start to see, I'm not saying football-wise, but I'm just saying in terms of success, I think he's got a better shout at being more successful. I'd say the same with any other manager.
Here's the thing. Can I just jump in for a sec? Just for a sec, yeah. That's a good point because, like, one of the things that with a football structure could allow us to do is, even if the manager is wrong, other things might be going well that when the right manager comes in, it all clicks. For example, if we do highlight, like Traps was saying, these young talents around the world, let's just say, like, Mourinho was here now and the football structure changed and all that, but he's not cutting the job. But we know we've got 5 or 6 players extra through that structure over the 2-3 year or 2-year period. We might be in a better position when that right manager comes in. Right now, that's why I asked Traps to start off with, where do you start? Because if you look at the upstairs in the office, you look at the club and the training ground, and then you look on the pitch, there's a lot to be done in there. So,
I mean, like, you see, I genuinely feel like, see things like this situation, Solskjaer, for instance. Solskjaer now with like a proper director of football, say like even a Rangnick or someone like that, and then you've got all the CEO, proper footballing CEO and whatnot. He would be fine, bro. I'll be honest with you. He would have been the perfect guy because at the end of the day, because that's how the thing is with Solskjaer, right? Is that a lot of people, I don't know what people expected from Solskjaer, but Solskjaer doesn't have the experience. But what you would have known from Solskjaer now, is that he identified a lot of good players, i.e. Caicedo, Haaland, a few others. His signings that he bought wasn't bad. He hasn't. I wouldn't say any of his signings he bought was absolutely downright abysmal. I mean, because you could argue, say Dan James, but I think Dan James is better than Anthony. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, like, that's what you've known of Solskjaer. So Solskjaer clearly has an eye for talent. So him working with a director of football and saying, you know what, I believe this or I believe that and I believe that, he would have had some clout now because he would have said Haaland, he would have said Caicedo. You're seeing these players go for big hundreds of millions now, and there was 4 million or something when he was.
When you think about that, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Solskjaer would have had some kind of clout, like, so you know, if he turns around and says, "Rod, you know what? There's a player like this, and he's in this league, and he's 3 million quid." These lot are not going to think to themselves, "Oh, we 3 million quid." They're going to think 3 million quid. Solskjaer bought. So I think what player did Solskjaer sell? The only player that he sold was Dan James, and he made a profit on it.
Yeah, he made a profit.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they're going to think 3 million quid. Worst case scenario, if he's shit, we're going to get more for him. Solskjaer's good at this. Do you see what I mean? At the end of the
He would
day,
have been. I think Traps. I think you're bang on, bro. In terms of, I think Solskjaer has his place in the club, not as a manager. I think he's limited as a manager, not because. And again, I liken Solskjaer's ability management wise to man management as opposed to coach. Doesn't mean I think he's the same as Fergie, because Fergie, in my opinion, is a better man manager. That's why he's so great and had control over everywhere else. However, Solskjaer as a man manager, if you think about his first season, the way he managed to re-galvanize that team and get them to play. You need that. You need that. And he embodies everything that Man United is, like it or not. The passion's there, the understanding's there. Do you know what I mean? The morals that we're brought up on, he's brought up on that. And you need that within an environment where you're pretty much bridging the gap between club and players. So I think he would have been a great number 2 to any manager that's actually on job doing the coaching side of things. The management part's no problem. And we saw in his interview, of course, when he got given his P45 and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could see the passion just in his tears. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was genuinely upset because he wanted it so bad. And one thing, as much as I wanted him out after a certain period, one thing I'll never knock him is I don't believe he had bad intentions for Man United. I don't believe everything he tried. I believe he had the right intentions every time. And that's quite hard to find when things are going poor, to still look at him and go, I can see you trying, you're just not cut out for it. So I don't think he should have had his place back as a number 2 or somewhere within the club. But under a structure, it would have been perfect to have him now, I think, personally.
I don't think
he had the experience. I don't think he could have taken us that far.
Yeah, but no, but you might. Yeah, but you say that, right? You say that, yeah. But you have to remember, we'd been to the quarterfinals of the Champions League with him. We'd been to the Europa League final and semi-final, where it was a one-legged final. Do you see what I mean? We'd seen a few nearly moments, and realistically, the players did lose. The players threw, whether he wants to admit or not, the players threw him under the bus, because if he had his way, he would have had certain players at the club, and certain men wouldn't be playing. You see what I mean?
That's the same for any manager, though, chaps. Respectfully, it is. Like, the players get used to throwing managers in the bus, and don't get me wrong, this is one thing. When we look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right, bro, and again, I say the same with every other manager, bar Van Gaal, because I believe he got done dirty. If Van Gaal's the manager, he get done dirty. But other players, when shit hits the fan, or they're a bit lost and they're not knowing what to do, they start to be disjointed, then they take it upon themselves to start taking leads. And I think they are strongly part of the reason every manager's getting sacked. When shit hits the fan, they don't back the manager, I'll be honest. And it doesn't look like, it's almost like, I'm going to do everything until it feels good. And when it don't feel good no more, my mindset's switching. And I did say it before, there is a culture that's bred at Man United now that players know they will outlast managers. That has to break. And in order to make that break, sorry, bro, go on.
There's another thing here where you know, when the team's playing well, the manager gets all the praise. When the team's playing shit, the players, we start focusing on players and this, that, and the other. The players see this, you know. This is why they have this belief. They think if we play good, the manager gets thingy. But if we play shit, we get crucified. But if we play shit, in the long run, yeah. If the shit we play, the board are going to get onto the manager. He'll end up losing his job, and that's what shouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, these like you said, the players. For me, I mean, big up Faz. Faz made a good point saying these players are experienced players. They've been to World Cup finals. Yeah. They've been to Champions League finals. They've been to Europa League finals. They've been to every trophy you can imagine. There's experience and there's things in these players. These teams have finished. There's players in this team that finished second in the league on numerous occasions. Right. So for me, I do feel like to a certain extent, I don't blame Ten Hag for certain things. But at the end of the day, he should be getting rid of, and he should be. And same with Solskjaer. Solskjaer come from an era where you couldn't play with Ferguson like this, how these lot are playing. So at the end of the day, he come from that school. So he should be showing them, listen, I come from the school where you fuck about like this, you're gone. So anyone that fucks about needs to go.
You know the hardest thing about that though, chaps, because I think you're bang on. It's those players are not in that same environment where they know there's no consequences. So the consequences are different for that behavior nowadays. So the culture is different. So although that would be right to do so, they know Big Fergie ain't about. They know they're on my contract. They know they're at a commercial club. They know that some of these players are now assets as opposed to players first.
And that's,
So, and they hide behind that. And this is why I said it's easy for these players now to down tool when they want to, knowing there's no consequences. It's like a new culture. And I think, go on.
It's like last season as well with De Gea. everyone's talking about, De Gea's done, De Gea needs to go, De Gea needs to go. Listen, I said the biggest problem that De Gea has is that De Gea could pick the ball up and throw the ball in his own net. He's going to play again next week because there's no competition. At the end of the day, and that's what I'm trying to say. They know that they're tied into these places. They're tied into these contracts for God knows how long.
You know what it is, Traps? Positions as well. Like you look at Rashford, yeah. He's been so comfortable for years on that left side.
Too comfortable.
Man. The man's played hundreds of games. Like it's mad. I was speaking to someone about it the other day, and it's like when you look back at Rashford, no disrespect to that. Obviously, he's a footballer. You know, what I mean, he does great things. But performance-wise, when you look back at his career and you look on Wikipedia, you better, he would have been an amazing striker. But when you play back the career, there were times when it was bad. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, Traps.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you see, like, you got these players. But listen, what I'm trying to say. I'm talking about hard ball with the board and that, because you know some of these players. You're gonna know, like they're gonna know more than us. Like they could, like, for instance, Ratcliffe could walk into the cafeteria and have a chat with so and so, and he could say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah." Every time fucking thingy's on the phone, every time, I don't know, say for example, every time Luke Shaw comes in, he's always arguing with his bird on the phone. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you like, just this idle chit chat. So they're gonna know a lot more about players' character and what players get up to. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, you know full well, look, like you said, they're here for the wages. They know they can throw the manager under the bus. They can hide when they want. They don't have. They can succumb to pressure, and there's no consequence. So when you're getting in players now, young players, good players that you've scouted, and they're certified players, and they're on the cheap, and they are challenging these men for their place. I'm talking like you end up on the bench because we signed some guy from Paris,
who's hungry. Who's ready to go? Hungry.
Some guy from Paris that's 17 years old, and he's not unknown, but he's hungry as fuck and he's brilliant.
But here's the thing, Traps, as well, and we've profiled him. We know he can fit your position. We know he can fit the system. There you go.
Exactly. So when your agent comes in and starts chatting shit, you say, "Mate, well, listen, look for another club, but make sure you get us 80 million for him then." Or make sure you this like that.
Man, I've got 5 guys in the office that are ready to go.
Because I mean, we and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there should be. Don't get me wrong. Player care is important, but player power. There's a difference. There's a thin line between player care and player power. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you see, when you care about a player, say, look, whilst you're here, we'll deal with you. Any family problems, any time off you need, within reason, we will look after you. We will help you. We will think you. Anytime if you've got mental health problems, if we need to deal with losses, you can always the door's always open for us. But don't think you could come here and say, oh, you're not happy with your game time and you haven't been playing well. Because at the end of the day, you're here to do a job. Play well. Play well. Step your game up in training. And then we can have a conversation.
Right to play, man.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, and your agent, like for instance, when agents used to hate Ferguson. When Raiola called Ferguson about Pogba, and he asked him, he said, what position does he play? No answer. He said, take him and go. That's what I'm trying to say. That at the end of the day, like I said, for instance, like, look, they're doing the right thing now, because I've heard talks of the agents trying to knock on the door, trying to push on like managers to replace Ten Hag, and they've fucked it all off, which is good. Yeah, but they need to do the same thing with the players as well. Say, look, listen, we're not hearing none of your shit no more. Yeah, you're on your wages. You're here to perform. If you don't perform, it's the manager's job to get the results. If you're sitting on the bench and they win 2-0, don't knock on this door. Go. You need to knock on the manager's door and say, boss, what do I need to do to get back into the team? And then he'll tell you what you need to do.
And then it breeds that different mentality.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So listen, obviously, big up Sunshine for the comment as well, saying facts. I'm only down for a new manager if that means we get majority new players. So I think what you're saying about the whole club clear out, and I'll transfer it to Nagy now. Yeah, I think that is a good starting point. Is there a balance, Nagy, of how much you clear out though? Like, are you looking at the club and you walk in and you go, everyone in the office can get out, but the players, it's going to take a steady process. You're going to see which ones respond well or not. Or I've seen these guys for long enough now. I don't care whether they respond to a new manager, new structure. They've been here long enough now, and they've not proved it to me. So I'm happy to just start again.
Adios. You have to have a balance. It's not FIFA. I know we live in a world of FIFA. I know we live in a world of comfortability. I know we live in a world of, let's say, convenience. Do you know what I mean? Where we want things quicker than not. But if you're being smart, there's no way you could go and ship out 8 players straight away. It's just not going to work. And the reason I don't believe it's going to work
is ship 4 or 5 key guys out and make a big statement.
No, you could not.
I don't believe so, for the simple fact,
or like contract lengths and different things like that. Is that the
that's what I'm saying. There's small details within contract. So let's take one player, for example, we just signed 2 seasons ago, Casemiro, yeah? He's a big profile, comes with a great CV. He's also a leader. There's no doubt he keeps that squad, that club together. Is he someone that the younger players and the players around him are looking up to? Is there, if you get rid of him, are you going to replace that figure, that mentality? If you don't, no problem, but that will also have a knock-on consequence in terms of mentally, because we know they're fragile. So all these small little intricate details are massive. And as long as you've got contingency plans for half of these things, it's not a problem, because you're going to have to take an L somewhere.
So,
You're not going to get rid of
so
4 or
sorry,
5
sorry to
players.
interrupt you.
Yeah,
How
go on.
do you look at it then? Do you look at if you're looking at a sheet right now? Do you look at like I've got this many players for this positions? I need to be
Yeah.
careful not to get that because that will upset that. Are you kind of looking at it like
So
let's
the
just say the
first, no,
centre backs, for example?
that wouldn't be my go-to. Me personally, if I was in the driver's seat, my first thing is I'm looking at profiles of that I have. So I'm letting the players know that I'm picking players based on profiles, regardless of your CV, regardless of your age, regardless of your ability. Therefore, it's an even clean for me. It's an even clean slate. Sorry. What that does internally is switch the player's mindset onto my profile is good enough or it's not. And that doesn't mean I'm a shit player. So therefore, mentally, you're keeping it nice and even and calm. Then you go and get rid of those players and you act on your word. Because then players are going, well, whether he's won the World Cup or not, whether he's a newbie or not, he's got rid of him for the reason of profiles, because we're moving in a new direction. That's something you can get on board with. If you're not on board with it, no problem. I'm going to ship you out. That, to me, is the baseline. After that, whoever's left of that crop of players, then you can start looking at it going, okay, well, you're the right profile, but you got 2 seasons left on your contract. We're now putting a wage cap in of 200K. You may have to move. Then it's a personal thing, and they're going, you know what? I want to move on for money. No one in the club, even the youths, looking up to Casemiro, can look at that and go, yeah, you shouldn't have got rid of Casemiro. It's like, bro, wage cap, no. It's a thing. It's a serious thing. If you don't rate that, no problem, you can go as well. So you start to drop people off that way. That's how I personally would approach it.
Makes sense.
Do I think that's realistic? No, because there's so many more factors that I'm not even privy to. But for me personally, as a standard, start with the profiles and go, I want these profiles, these profiles. I'm happy to give you an opportunity to adapt. Certain players that you give an opportunity to adapt to are young enough. Do you know what I mean? You may send them on loan, you may get them in training, whatever. There's going to be those little anomalies as well. However, as a majority, profiles first, man. You're either right or you're wrong. And then I look where I'm most short. I then look at my youth players and go, are you the similar profile? Do I need that position? Yes. Bring the youth in. Train them up, because you know they're going to be in a consistent environment playing for a certain style. So no matter what manager you bring in, they're still going to be made to play the same or similar. Then from there, I'm looking at, okay, I ain't got a right back. I ain't got a left back. Let me go in the market. Like you man have been saying,
why this
3,
is such a
4
good
profiles,
point?
move it.
Just to interrupt you, do you know why this is such a good point? When you said right back, left back, it triggered like our profiling is terrible. Look at our fullbacks. It's mad,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
mad.
Like when you look at it's crazy when you think about it, isn't it? Like it is
Yeah.
mad.
But this is the issue. This is what I'm trying to say. Like this one was just one of not the issue.
Even
That's
the
very rude.
the midfield balance. That's bad profiling, isn't it? Like the
100%.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But look at it, Leon. Yeah, we've signed players according to what the manager's preferences, and each manager we've brought in is not the same style of manager. So when you're, and again, it's another pointer as to why I bring to the table, when you're a manager with different profiles, you're trying to ask. I mean, don't get. For example, I'll give you a great example. Harry Maguire right now is playing probably his best football at Man United we've seen for a while. However, the way he plays is not suited to the way Ten Hag plays. So even though he's having a good game, we're still moving the ball slow out the back. He's still pinging too many long balls. We're not line breaking. So already the game plan is going different, even though he's in form. And that's the difference. If you don't have the right profiles, because they're suiting other managers' styles and what they wanted, and then you've got some commercial signings that some managers didn't even want, you're gonna have a disjointed club and team. And so profile-wise, you have to go in there and go. I mean, I don't know what Chaps thinks and yourself, Leon, but I'm looking at profiles first as my.
I agree, Master. I'm just gonna go into what Abdi said here. Chelsea had to go clear out this summer. Chelsea's a different kind of club to us. They don't even operate. City don't even operate on the level that they do. And do you know what I mean? But we look at sustained success. I would say Chelsea, they kind of nick trophies here and there, don't they? They don't kind of dominate. So that's the kind of way they run. Yeah.
I think for what another thing as well. Yeah, You see, if you get like you said, if you get how you want to play, how the board thinks you want, how the board wants you to play, the board have listened to
like an identity type of thing.
They've got their sort of, they said they want, this is the identity, this is how you need to play, this is how, in order to survive here. I think that will eliminate a lot of people, you know, like some people are going to be in of a manager, out of a manager at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, if he's playing to the style that we want and the identity that we want, that's a successful style of football.
Yeah,
the manager will be exposed quicker than, and a lot of people be more capable to say, you know what, this guy can't do this. You know what I mean? This guy can't do this because this is how we expect to play. He can't do this because they're not going to be excuse saying, "Oh, this player profiles are different," or this player shouldn't be playing in the team. That player, no, we've got all the.
It's not based on the manager's preference no more. It's about the board, isn't it?
Yeah, so that will eradicate a lot of argument. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the writing will be on the wall. I mean, certain time, because all this time, give a manager time. It's fine, yeah, but you can give a manager. I think any good manager, you can give him. If you've got a structure on what you can give him a season. It's the second season, you have to be cooking. If you're not cooking the second season, you're not up to the job. You know what I mean? So
you have to show something, don't you? You have to show something.
And that's how United should operate, because at the end of the day, cool. If we get a manager in, second season, he's not cooking, we get rid of him, we get another manager in. Second season, he is cooking. He cooks in the third season. Fourth season, it goes downhill. All right, cool, we need to rebuild. Let's get him out, get a new manager in, rebuilding it. Dum. Cool. Second season, are you cooking again? So you might have them little odd years where shit don't go well, but you're gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah. But you're gonna have them. You're gonna have sustained success here. Sustained success. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be a pattern because it was like you saw with Ferguson as well. It's like you see us would have a team. We'd have a period of 3 years of dominance, and then there'll be a year of a fall off, and then another 3 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, 100%, man.
Just a quick one on that, I think as well. I think it's very important as well that Ten Hag is accountable for what he said he's going to do as well. So I think it's definitely worth them putting him in a room and saying like, okay, cool, you've got this idea of how you want to play football based on what you've done at Ajax and blah, 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 blah. Okay. We're going to question that now. And I think that's where it was very interesting what you said earlier, Traps, about you don't think that the manager will work based on his stubbornness and rest. You know what it is? It's going to be interesting because we don't know where that's going to go. We don't know whether I'm in the middle. Like Neji was saying that obviously he must have been around strong personalities in that Ajax structure who challenged.
No, definitely.
Can't have been thinking, but it'll be interesting over the next few months to see when people push back on him. I don't know. Yeah, can you tell me? Is Paul Mitchell that kind of guy that will turn around and say to him, "Nah, mate, you're not getting this"?
He's gonna have to.
I think he will be that kind of guy. Yeah,
he's gonna have to. And
Blanc must be as well, because Blanc went into that Juve mess. So he must be kind of a tough personality. But go on, sorry, Trap.
You see, like obviously, Neji thinks I fucking hate Ten Hag, like his guts, and I want him gone. No, I just feel like what he's done. He needs to be, like you said, he needs to be accounted for, and it's not good enough. At the end of the day, like I said, if I brought Ten Hag into a boardroom as a board member, I said, right, listen. You signed this one, you signed this one, you signed this one, you signed that one. Yeah? This one's been shit. That one's been all right. That one's been decent. That one's shit. Yeah? You're going to have to, like, I can't see Ten Hag turning around saying, yeah, you know what, you're right. These lot of shit. We need to get rid of them. I can't see him doing that.
I think he's going to be like, I know they're going to work. I know it's going to work. I know it's going to work.
And then it's going to create a problem where it's going to be like, well, I don't think these are going to work. I think they've been given enough time. And then he's going to feel like he's being undermined. You know what I mean? And then I just can't see. I can't see. I feel like he's done. You know, in the sense that he's done too much to turn back and too much to go on. If that makes sense. That's what I think of him. That's not me down to wishing him out. Don't get it twisted. If Ten Hag turns it around, I'll eat my hat. It's fine. Like, I mean, like, it's the end of the day, like, cool. I was wrong.
You know, I kind of know how you've got to that point, because sometimes like Ten Hag speaks and it's like he's the only man on the planet. Do you know what I mean? Like when he comes out after games and he's like, we played well, and everybody, like the crew, everyone watching, the players, ex-pros, we're all just there like, you what, mate? Do you know
like when he comes out, for instance, when he comes out at the end of the season, yeah, gets the microphone, starts, bearing in mind, the last time we saw someone on the pitch with a microphone was Alex Ferguson retiring, you know what I mean? So we haven't seen that in a while, you know what I mean? So you've gone there, you sensationalized this FA Cup. And you ain't even gone there and thrown your kitchen sink at it and said, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna, you know what I mean? And that's my point. I don't see. I just see all talk. No, that's what I'm starting to see. I'm starting to see all talk, not enough action. Do you know what I mean?
I think the balance is maybe. I said this on a stream a couple of weeks ago. It was on Managerial. I think he thinks he's got more time. I think in his head sometimes, and I see where you're coming from, Neji, where he goes, in 4 years, you guys are going to see what I've built, but I don't think you're going to get 4 years, mate. Do you know what I mean?
That was like I said.
I think that's what he thinks. You know, I think that's what he
no,
thinks.
100%. And I think I said this to Traps in the WhatsApp group. The sticky point for me is why did he believe? And this is why again I go a little bit deeper to the surface and go. He's moved naive in the transfer market, given most managers don't get 2 seasons at United with no structure, and also you got to look at the money that's been spent. It should have been spent in other areas. You should have maintained what he did last season, in my opinion, to bide that more time. However, I question 2 things. One is for Ten Hag, one is against. Against Ten Hag is a case of if he was given assurances when he signed that contract that he will be able to build the squad, then I understand to a level, whether I like it or not, I understand that he's gone and got the profiles he wanted to get because he felt he could do that, even if it's a backward step. If he didn't get the reassurances, then I can 100% say he was too naive with the signings he's done because he's taken too much of a step back. So yeah, I will never understand the reason why. That's the key thing for me. So I'm literally split between, have you been too naive because you were led down a rabbit hole by the Glazers thinking you'd have more time, more budget and stuff, and then you shot yourself in the foot? So that's not on him, because that has happened to many other managers. Or is it a case of, no, you've been given the reassurances and you can make the changes and therefore you're going to be there for the long haul? The reality for me is, if it is the last one where he thinks he's got more time, he won't have it because fans are massively going to put man under pressure. And Glazers only act off the fans. Remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even when he should have gone before the 2-week international break, they still kept him on up until Watford. They don't care about sacking a man because they don't care about football.
Oh, they don't want to pay the money. They don't want to pay money. They want to long out this money.
The fan base is the key thing that Ten Hag's missing here. Are you keeping the fan base on side with your naivety?
He's not.
And if he isn't, it's a hard one for him because then he's under pressure to not only perform and get results, but also turn the massive fan base around in his favour. That is ludicrous given the situation.
But this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I was trying to say. Like when I said obviously the whole treble thing and that, I just thought to myself, I was thinking, bruv, the way things are going to get done here, like it's not going to be like, he's won the treble and the next season we're going to be challenging for the title again and this, that, and the other. I just feel like if anything's going to get done, it's going to be a slapdash job that's just papered over the cracks for the time being. And sometimes when I watch the football and when I see what he says, I genuinely look at this man and think to myself, he must know something I don't. He must know something that we don't, because the way he behaves like he's just signed a 15-year deal and he ain't going nowhere anytime soon. So he must have.
That's true. You know, that's so true. You know,
he must have the reassurances, Neji. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But there's another side to this. The Glazers, really, for them, to be honest with you, if they can afford to string out, it's like a brethren that owes you money and he knows he's got to pay it you, but he's longing it out month after month. It's like, bro, you know you're going to pay with the DPs and just pay it, minute, get it over and done with. Do you know what I mean? But they just they don't want to have to pay the thing in it. But listen, we're going to wrap up soon. But I was going to say, what do you think? I'll go to both of you in it. I'll go Neji first, yeah. With where we're at right now with this manager, taking into consideration that we might be getting a little takeover. Well, not a takeover, but some new football structure, which is going to take a bit of time to implement. What are the realistic season expectations? Can you see a top 4, top 5 finish? I feel shameless saying top 5, you know. I feel disgusting saying it because it should just be top 4 or not. Do you know what I mean? Or do you see that we're going to regress a little bit more and the structure is going to get better? Neji, where do you see it?
Minus my joke prediction before the season, Man United finishing first. It was an actual joke. Where the receipts are at.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was joking. Okay. I've got receipts, don't worry. Where my receipts were landing was a simple case of I thought we'd finish 5th or 6th. And the reason I said that is because last season we overachieved, and I don't believe it was a realistic expectation for this season, especially
with the other clubs that flopped as well.
Well, yeah, there's that side, and then of course, I don't believe, and again, every manager's second season tends to be worse at United because it's never consistent in the way, one, you're backed, and two, how you're going to progress once you make the Champions League. So every time we make Champions League, we then never do well the season after because there's no consistency in what was had. So I predicted 6th, and I thought that would have been decent, given the constraints that we make a final and get 6th, and it balances out the season before because it was an overachievement for me. So far, we've reached the same amount of points as we did last season, but we've been performing awful. You know, man, my personal prediction based on the facts and evidence that presented itself, I thought we'd take a step back. Not too far as where we have been, I'll be honest. But I did foresee us taking a step back. And I do genuinely believe that injuries and obviously the situations that are going on with VAR and everything else, there are some results that we have been deserving of that would have changed the landscape of where we are sitting at the moment.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to push back on that. I'm going to push back on that. Do you know why? Because I think that a lot of the games we've won this season, we haven't deserved to win.
No, I believe
I can name 4 or 5 games now that we didn't deserve to win, bro.
No, I'm not saying all. I didn't say all games. There have been games that we've performed. I said that on previous Man Them Talk. There's been games where we've performed shit, won. There's been games where we've performed the better team and lost. I think there's more games that we've performed badly and won than there's games. I would disagree with that for the simple fact I remember
Wolves, Forest. I can think of loads straight away, innit? Like Bournemouth straight away.
No, of course.
No. I wouldn't say we didn't deserve to. We didn't deserve to win, beat Forest because we did.
I feel like again.
I feel like they played the. We didn't deserve to beat them, but they played the better football. Wolves.
I don't think they did. I think they had 5 minutes in that game.
There's a difference, between playing better football and deserving to win. You can get many teams that can hold possession for 70% of the game, play incredible football, but did they tactically do their stuff? Were they effective enough when they were in possession? All of those things matter to me. So again, I'm looking at isolated games. I even said as well, some of the performances have been misjudged based on the result. We've had some decent performances, done enough to go 2-3 ahead, but then again not been clinical enough. Therefore, that adds pressure. Therefore, we then start to regress. There are many games, if you go and watch start of the season, where that's been the case. So when we haven't finished our dinner, which is where you get your confidence from, for the next game and the next game, then you start to get into a cycle of, well, we're doing everything right. We just can't put the ball in the net again. Shit. Now what?
Does this go back to your mentality point that when they don't finish the dinner, they just pack it in? They pack it in early, dash the lunch
their mentality's got worse and worse and worse. And on top of that, when shit hits the fan, and you do need that little rub of the green, where you should be getting certain rewards for certain situations, and you're being shegged, and there's evidence and it's happening consistently, that also adds to the pressure and the situation on results. Then you've also got the situation of injuries, and then you've also got the situation of Ten Hag's mistakes, which is why I said about 20% of his situations where he's not starting his left back, playing a Rashford tutor. All of those little things are now mounting up as if they're bigger. If you dissect every situation, I genuinely believe, in my opinion, we're still on course to probably make a top 4, but I don't believe we should be pushing for Europa League or Champions League. I'm not saying don't have no pride in them competitions, but I think it's got to that stage now where you have to focus on the league now.
Oh no, I'm out. I'm out, bro. I don't want to go Europa. I'd rather crash out the group and have the 1 game a week and work in the training. I'm not interested at all because that Europa is the only competition that's on like all year round. There's like 2 months on that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In that. Traps, what we saying, bro? What's the realistic season expectation?
I mean,
for you, bro?
to be honest with you, to be realistic, like we said, look, a lot of our stuff's been magnified, like Neji said, yeah. And if you look at it, yes, we haven't played well, but we are 7 points off top of the league. Yeah.
How mad is that? Say that again. How mad is that?
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. But which will tell you that nobody in this particular moment is playing well. So for me, top 4 is still top 4. Like that's what you have to be. There's no excuse for you not to be there. You're 7 points off the top of the league. So why it's not like we're 14, 15 points adrift now of 4th. We're 7 off the top. So realistically, I'll be looking at it saying like, right, cool. In January, you need to strengthen because I said this about Solskjaer when he was second in the league. You need to go into that boardroom and say, get me a fucking DM and I'll win you this fucking league. That's what you should have told them. But you seen it, and then you saw it the season after that, where Liverpool were 14 points off City, went and got Luis Diaz, and that next thing you know, there's a title race to the end of the last day. So at the end of the day, he needs. I'll be saying to him, look, try and get yourself to January. If he gets to January and he miraculously gets himself through the Champions League thing, you have to help him. So you have to strengthen. Yeah. But you can't just let him go and get who he wants. Say, look, you need a couple of defenders. You need a defender. You need another striker. So we're going to get you a defender and a striker, yeah? That's a quick fix. We can. Don't get me wrong. 2 seasons, you can throw them away. You know what I mean? But right now, we get you a quick fix to get you to the
By the way,
Champions League.
on that point, yeah, is there a chance, because the Radcliffe thing's been going on for a while, him in his head, he thought, I'm going to get this United, whether I get a little piece or a big piece, yeah? Do you think he's already profiled? Do you think he's already gone, can have my man from Nice, I've already got a few guys in my head and my team have been working behind the scenes?
Yeah,
he wants to come in and look, he wants to come in and look good. He wants to come in and look good and be like...
He's a billionaire, man. He's definitely done due diligence, man. He's a billionaire, bro. That's what I'm saying. These men are not going to come in and just one day say, all right, well, I need to do this now. Like, this has all been done, like for instance, like you've been heavily linked with Todibo because obviously he owns the other place, isn't it? So it's gonna be an easy job to get through. The worst case scenario, you can fling if it's a thing where there's no dough or whatever, the dough's thing, you just loan him and do it. Slap a loan on and whatnot. So, like I said, they can like if he gets him to think. I don't see right now why anyone should be thinking about anything less than a top 4 finish because it doesn't. I just don't get it for me. It's like, think about it. In December, you could be top of the league. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it will happen, but a loss and a draw here, and a couple of draws for people above you, and you're above them. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think at this present moment in time that top 4, you can't be defeatist being a defeatist to be like, oh, Europa League bound. Because why? We're not even in the Europa League position. Well, we are now, but obviously, there's
just you know what is there. I just to cap, yeah. I just believe in order for us to have a chance, he's going to need some of his key players back, especially in defense, because they were a strong reason why we were able to play well last season in terms of when we had the ball and making those transfers between back to front. Until they come in and play 10, 15 games straight, no injuries. Touch wood, we get no more injuries because we're going to need some luck now. I don't see us performing any better. So however you get the result, I'm saying get the result because realistically, we don't have the profiles and the depth to go and say, you know what, I can replace Martinez's quality at left centre-back. We don't have that.
So what are you saying? Pragmatism all the way?
Yeah, whatever it is. I've even said it on the show before when we're asked about flipping...
man. I need goals, man. I'm not saying we're going to score 4 or 5. I just need a couple of goals.
Finishes, bro. Me and Musa were telling you, man, this. You know what I mean? We should have prioritised at least clinical finishes before even going for a keeper and everything else because even now... I'm
not going to lie, though, yeah. But you see Højlund, he's been very, very unlucky, bro. Like, what? No, he has. See, with him, I feel like once the goals start coming, they are going to start coming.
Yeah, no, of course. He showed it in the UCL. He showed it in the UCL. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
like, that save on the weekend, yeah, that was just basically how's your luck, man. The how's your luck.
100%. Even the Arsenal situation when they had the goal disallowed, I think it was, or Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Because the ball went out. Like there's nothing. He's doing everything right, so he's not an issue. But one of the counteracts I was talking about regarding just getting him in was that we're gonna have to put the pressure, whether we like it or not. We're gonna have to put the pressure on him to get the goals. Yes, his mentality's on point, so clearly it's not an issue. But we should not be he should be coming off the bench. He should be a second striker. We need forwards.
You should have had the season to bed in on that guy.
But that's what I'm saying.
And create.
That's what I'm saying.
Create.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like cool.
Yes.
If you had anyone that was that had any sense at the club and wanted things to work on the pitch, they'd be calling a meeting with Sancho and Eric and saying, listen, this is, I don't give a fuck. This has got to get sorted out, mate. Because like at the end of the day, he's had a good pre-season. He's obviously tried and applied himself.
Yeah,
there's obviously some kind of breakdown in communication between you lot. But I'll tell you what, it's gonna get sorted because at the end of the day, he needs to play. We've got a young striker coming in. He can play false 9, which he's done for you, and he's been quite successful. So you lot need to sort this out because this personal shit, I'm sorry, it ain't cutting it. The fans ain't gonna hear this.
You know what's crazy though? If I was the owner, this is the difference between caring. I'm literally grabbing the manager in there, and I'm grabbing the player, and I'm saying, look, brethren, my club is falling apart. I'm here to try and sort shit out, but I need you to squash this one way or another. Whether you agree to disagree, whether you apologize for the sake of saying it, whether you mean it or not, sort it out. Otherwise, both of you losing your Ross Clark job and money.
Yeah, because we need the bigger picture. It's not about you two.
Yeah, it's about the Ross Clark.
Right now, that's
me personally.
We need Sancho on that right hand side. I mean, if we'd started the season with him there, he'd have probably got 3-4 assists already at least. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly, and that's Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, listen, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I've still got to go gym, man. Them, so obviously,
Yeah, I
it's
got to
late
go out as
gym.
well, man.
It's a gym thing, innit? But no, listen, big up, appreciate it. Listen, make sure you plug. Let me just take this off. Plug your channels, plug where people can find you. We're going to end up doing a lot more content, guys. So, and
So you
also
say,
as
what's
well,
this inaugural Real Talk United, yeah?
you get me. So this is Real Talk United, people. We've also got the boxing view coming tomorrow, 7:00. I'm going to be raking down the AJ card. We've got MMA talk on the Mondays, and of course, Real Talk United is usually going to be Sunday, 8:00 with Neji. And we've also got a show called United Panel and many more to come, people. So you know what I mean. This has been a manifested for a long period of time, so I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. But listen, AG, big up for coming on. I don't know about the heavyweight baller. Said's been messaging me saying that he's going to challenge you towards that. So I think the man are going to do a football
listen, I don't want to hear that. Listen, no one. First and foremost, no one's been.
I mean, you've been talking about slapping top bins, but it's all talk. I've not seen any.
You know what I think we need to do?
I've not heard about you in
do?
or anything.
Find some files, bro. Don't worry.
We need to have like a Mandem penalty shootout or something, man.
I want a game, bro. I want to play a game.
We need a Mandem team to take on the other Mandem teams. That's what
I'm not.
Listen, give me a Ross Clark game, man. Like, put me in a game because I am the greatest heavyweight baller on the planet.
I appreciate that, artist as well.
I am big Papa Fox trying to call me, man. But listen, it is what it is. I'm the greatest heavyweight baller. I believe in myself. My left foot is disgusting. My right foot's filthy. People my size should not be able to move the way I move. Facts. I can dance.
I'll be the manager, man. It's fine.
Dance, I can act. I can ball. Do you know what I mean? I can do everything and everything. Do you know what I mean? But listen,
I'll be the manager, yeah. But don't be surprised if you get hooked after 3 minutes and
that. Man said, what? First one over the bar, done.
Yeah, but Leon, come on, mate.
Traps. Where can they find you, bro? Where can they find you? You're doing a lot.
Right, listen, well, you go on, type, this is what I tell people now, you type mufc.traps into any social media platform and I will appear.
Okay. The thing is, I like the little reels that you do in that, man. You just keep it 100 with it, do you know what I'm saying? So we're definitely going to do something. I need to hit you up as well, because whereabouts in London are you?
I am in Southwest.
Perfect. We got boxing show Tolworth in December. So if you want to come through, Dean White's thing, you know Dean.
I know him. Yeah.
So obviously we're doing the last show of the year. So come through. I do all the media for him. So that's to come true, bro. We got a big kind of thing. I just put you on the VIPs. Come rolling in it.
Yeah, message me. Let me know the details and I'll come. Yeah.
Apologies, man. Big Papa Fox came through and interrupted.
Yo, big up Traps. Appreciate it. Yo, heavyweights. They can find you Sunshine 47. Talk to them.
Yeah, man. SONSHINE 47. I know. Obviously, Sunshine at the back. Man said, "Neji, back it up." What do you mean, back it up, bro? No, man,
no, not the chitchy thing. On about back up the football talk, innit? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't worry about that. Yeah, that's fine. I got receipts, man. Top bins and that. But yeah, listen, Sunshine 47, SONSHINE. I'm in France tomorrow. So if you want to go check out all the modeling shit and the behind the scenes stuff, go check that on Instagram. TikTok football. Only just started to build that as well, where I do my reviews for 5 to 10 minutes. Breaking shit down, so make sure you go support that. Road to 100 at the moment. We're on like 62 followers at the moment, so it's real light stuff. But obviously, that's my more personal thing regarding football. And on Twitter as well, you can find me there, Sunshine47, where I try to do in-depth conversations with flipping 180 characters, but I refuse to pay for a blue tick. So it is what it is. But other than that, man, shout out to Unleashed Sports. You'll catch me and Leon on Sundays, every Sunday, talking and breaking shit down. Shout out to Traps, of course. Mandem Talk every Wednesday, as you know, Saeed TV. And yeah, make sure you go like, share, subscribe, and do all that great stuff, man. Do you know what I mean? Because
man,
Leon's a real one, man. You already know this. Do you know what I mean? So make sure you go subscribe and do great stuff, man.
I think she went great there. But no, listen, everyone, thanks for tuning. I'm going to leave this comment here. Free Sancho. Do you know what I mean? Free Sancho. But yeah, people, big up, like the video. I appreciate you guys coming on, and there's plenty more to come. I'll probably be live at 1 o'clock tomorrow to break down what happened with the Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and the card. I don't know if you guys have seen what's going on over in the Saudi thing. It's crazy. But
no.
Oh, bro, go and have a look on Matchroom Boxing and have a look how many man them have managed to get the bag in Saudi. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the card's crazy. You got like Lyndon Arthur Bivol. You've got like Daniel Dubois fighting that Miller guy. It's crazy, bro. It's nuts.
What, is it all going to be in one night as well?
Yeah, so Parker's fighting Deontay Wilder. AJ's fighting Wallin, and then they're gonna. It's mad. Every man's got the bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, man. Is this the one that Ty was on about earlier?
Yeah.
People,
over and out. Peace. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Adios, bro. See you in a bit.
In a bit.